There's no doubt that Verona has been the talk of the volleyball world this year. They've been playing an exciting, aggressively offensive style of volleyball that's played out really, really well for them both on the court and on social media. Coming into these Scudetto playoffs, they have a 21-6 overall record, good for second in the Italian league, and it is their best regular season finish of all time. They won their first ever major trophy when they took home the Italian Cup in February and finished runners-up at the Supercoppa just before the playoffs as well. By all metrics, they are one of the top two teams in the league. Off-season moves have really paid off for them. Both Darlin Souza and Michael Christensen have made huge impacts, and it has led to them having the best offense in the league. They have the best points per set, they have the best kills per set, they have the best kills percentage, and the best attacking efficiency in all of the Superlega. They're also the fourth best in aces and the fifth best in blocking. By any metrics, this is Verona's best season ever. As I mentioned, not only did they win their first ever Italian Cup, but they beat Perugia and Trentino on the way to it. Two of the biggest names, not only in the Italian league, but also just in men's club volleyball as a whole. In addition to all of this, after their 3-1 series win against Milano on Sunday, this will be Verona's best ever finish in the LegaVolley. It'll be the first time they have ever made it to the semifinals in Italy. Now, given their roster and all of their success, a lot of the people are expecting them to make a run to the Scudetto finals, which is really understandable, and to even challenge for a title. As I said, this is the best offensive team in volleyball, and they've already proven they know how to win trophies. And on the surface, their semifinal opponent in Lube Civitanova has had a really terrible season after making a run to the finals themselves last year. They finished 6th with a 13-9 record. They've lost to pretty much every other playoff team throughout the year, and even some non-playoff teams like Padova. They've been one of the most inconsistent teams in volleyball and have been absolutely terrible on the road. And let's be honest, Lube got lucky by matching up with a Micheletolist Trentino in the first round of the playoffs. If the defending Scudetto champs had the unicorn in their roster for the quarterfinals, I'm sure Verona would be coming up against a much different opponent. But with all of that being said, I think that this is actually a worst case scenario for Verona. Before I get into this matchup and why it's bad for Verona, let me tell you why it's going to be the best for fans, and this is probably going to be the best series in all of volleyball this year. First and foremost, you have the two best offensive teams in the league. Verona at the top, averaging 17.03 points per set across all competitions, and Lube sits at number 2, averaging 16.55 points per set. You also have two of the best offensive and most entertaining players, not only in the league, but of all of volleyball. Lube's Alex Nikolov has averaged 5.62 points per set, and Verona's Noumory Keita has averaged 5.07. Not only are they the only two players who are averaging over 5 points per set across all different Italian competitions this year, they also know how to play to the crowd. Like, these two guys are showmen, and the crowd loves them. This is a series that could play out like a Magic versus Bird, or a LeBron against Steph Curry, or a Messi against Cristiano Ronaldo for all you Euros out there. This is one of those series that I think people are going to talk about for a long, long time. And as I said before, when you talk about offense, you have to give the edge to Verona. They lead the league in attack percentage with a 57.3, while Lube was in 6th with just 52%. They also lead the league in attack efficiency with a 52%, while Lube is in 5th with a 46% attack efficiency. Now, this mostly comes down to the setters, as Micah Christensen has been in elite form since returning to the Italian LegaVolley, and Mattia Bonifante has really struggled at times in his sophomore season as a starter. In addition to Micah, Verona also boasts Darlin Souza, who is the third best scorer in the Italian league this year, averaging 4.7 points per set and giving Verona one of the best, the best 1-2 punch in the league, no doubt about it. In the final statted category where Verona has the advantage, because let's be honest, boomers don't care about defense or digs, is blocking. Verona sits in 5th in league, averaging 1.99 blocks per set, while Lube is 8th, averaging 1.92. Not a huge difference between the two teams, but I think it's still enough to mention. Now, despite all of these advantages, why do I think this is a worst case scenario for Verona? Let me break it down. First and foremost, Lube leads the season series 2-1, and Verona's home gym is one of the few away games they actually won this year. Verona did win the more recent matchup in the semifinals of the Supercoppa in February, so that is something to take account, right? They're not completely winless against Lube. But the reason for Lube winning is my second reason. Verona is one of the worst passing teams in the league and match up really poorly against good, strong serving. They averaged a 41% positive passing rating and only a 16.6 perfect passing rating. 11th in the league in both categories. Now, this is a 12-team league, so yeah, they're second last in both of the reception categories in the LegaVolley. Now, against most teams, this really doesn't matter. With Micah as their setter and the wings that they have, whether it's Keita, Darlin, Sani, or Mozic, they have the firepower, right? Out of system really doesn't matter that much. But Lube is the second best serving team in the LegaVolley, averaging 2.14 aces per set this season, with weapons up and down their lineup. And when you dive into it a little bit deeper, you'll see that Verona is a combined 1-4 against the two best serving teams in the league, Modena and Lube. Now, Verona isn't a bad serving team by any means. In fact, they're pretty good, averaging a fourth best 1.82 aces per set, but it's not good enough against the best serve receiving team in the league in Lube Civitanova, coming in with a 49.1 positive passing rating. These numbers are even more exaggerating when these two teams face off. Lube was above average from the baseline against Verona, with averaging 2.4 aces per set in their 3 matchups, with a minus 0.12 serve efficiency, while Verona was below average, averaging just 1.4 aces per set with a minus 0.21 serve efficiency. Translation: Verona plays some of its worst ball against Lube, and Lube plays some of its best ball against Verona. And the third reason why I think this is a nightmare matchup for Verona is the experience, right? We're reaching the point of unknown for Verona. As an organization, they've never made it this far in the playoffs. And with that comes some learning curves. And now the reality is that regardless who Verona would have played, whether it was Lube or Trentino, they would have had the disadvantage here regardless. Lube, on the other hand, is used to making this run to the finals. They've made 4 trips in the past 5 years, with 6 of their 7 starters on this year's team returning from last year's team. 6 guys who pulled off one of the best comebacks of all time, going down 0-2 to Perugia in the semifinals of the Scudetto playoffs and coming back to take it. They're battle tested and they know what it takes, which goes a really long way in a 5-game series. And that's the other thing. This is a 5-game series. It's not a 1-game cup match. A 1-game cup match where you have to plan for games on back-to-back days. This is a 5-game series where you really dive into the other team and you game plan game in and game out, right? Verona, on the other hand, in terms of experience, is really lacking. They've only got one guy who's ever made it past the quarterfinals of the Scudetto playoffs, and that's Mike Christensen, who made a number of trips to the finals with Lube and Modena, and even won one with Lube back in 2017. In addition to the experience, we've already seen guys on Lube like Alex Nikolov, like Mattia Botolo, and Fabian Bolasso really raise their level in those big moments, right? Alex Nikolov is a playoff type of player. Only a few months ago, he led a very undersized and unexperienced Bulgarian team all the way to the finals of the World Championships as one of the best scorers we've ever seen, right? Then this is going to be his 3rd Scudetto finals in his career. He is one of the best scorers in volleyball, but what makes him so great is that he is even better when it matters the most. To me, this isn't saying that I think Keita is going to be bad or Darlin's going to be bad or Mozic or Sani, but I am really worried about those other guys, whether it's the guys down the middle or their 2 liberos, D'Amico and Staffarini. That's where I really think the inexperience is going to seep in and ultimately hurt Verona. Now, regardless what happens, because I'm really not going to come out here and say that I 100% think that Lube is going to win this match. I think it's going to be a tight-fought series, and I expect it to go to 5 games. But regardless of what happens, I honestly think that we should tip our hats to the Verona players and the organization. It's been a historic year for them, and they've done it while playing some of the most entertaining volleyball of any team anywhere, right? Their home games look hype. They're big on social media. It's a lot of fun to watch them. And on top of all this, they've really built things up the right way. They found good, young talent and grew with them, right? Guys like Mozic and Keita have been with this club for a long time. Then they brought in guys like Michael Christensen and Darlin Souza to really bolster that roster. But the most important thing of it all, in my opinion, is they got rid of King Stooge Stoichev last year, and then they brought in Fabio Soli, who is a proven winner. And I honestly think that move is one of the biggest moves that shouldn't go unnoticed. Verona has been able to shake up the LegaVolley in ways that Piacenza wish they had. And it looks like they've made the right moves to cement themselves in the elite clubs of the sport for a long time coming. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do all of it this year.